YouTube, what is going on? I am here to tell you that Salamangreat is not dead. We had a single elimination tournament today in preparation for tomorrow. By the way, sign up for GG Tour, $500 free to enter tournament tomorrow, Saturday at 12 p.m. EST. You can sign up by joining the Discord link down in the description. I want to see you there. Let's talk about the meta very quickly and what decks we saw in this tournament. These are all top 8 decks, and they all did very, very well. Salamangreat specifically had 3 decks in the top 8. Very quickly, let's go through it. This is the Microcoder deck that ended up in the grand finals. Microcoder's still really good. All they lost was one Lady Debug. Not the end of the world for them. They are absolutely A-okay. Phantom Knights, which actually ended up winning the tournament, is back now. The first archetype to be released this year, back in January, is still powerful to this day. It's nice, too, because this deck can be built free-to-play. So free-to-play players rejoice. You still have cards that you can play. And now let's get into the Salamangreat decks. These are the 3 Salamangreat decks that topped. There was also a Salamangreat Mech Knight deck that made top 16, but we want to specifically focus on the top 8 decks that made it through. Pretty much everyone agreed Gazelle is the way. No one's packing the Roar. Everyone's packing the Gazelle. It's just too good to not have. Back row removal. This guy used Karma Cut. Still doubling up on that Needle Ceiling. Typical monster lineup with a Signet Mining and triple of the Salamangreat Circle. Extra deck, as you can see, is largely unchanged as well. And I believe this was the Valley of the Fire for that Leo as well. I'm assuming that's what it is up here. I forgot, but there wasn't one guy playing, or 2 guys playing Valley, so I believe this was one of them. Still incredibly powerful deck. Boom. Moving on to the next one, we have Gozu. This Gozu is like a 16, 17 time champion for battle phase. You can see he's got Lightning Vortex and Karma Cut. Holy. And he is also playing the Valley of Volcano skill, Roach, in the extra deck as well. This is interesting because it's like Karma Cut and Lightning Vortex. I understand where he's going for this. You know, with the deck being able to generate so many resources to try and get some pops going off. He did end up losing in a mirror match, so not as strong in the mirror match for him, but it was very powerful. Or actually, I'm sorry, I apologize. He ended up losing to Microcoder, which is almost a mirror match, but it did not end up helping him too much. So I'll be interested to see what he does if he decides to remove these Lightning Vortexes, just stick with the Karma Cut, or what the deal may be moving forward. And then finally, the last guy, putting in Warning Point, and pretty much keeping the same side or extra deck as well as the other guys, still with the triple circle, 1 Gazelle, and whatnot. Overall thoughts of the tournament. I thought Salads were going to struggle a lot more than they did, and they really did not. Salamangreat was not the most entered deck today. It was the 3rd or 4th most entered deck today, and it trashed people on its way to top cut. There were several in top 16, and by the time we got to top 8, there was 3 of them. You know, the most kind of referred to deck. Phantom Knights was the most entered deck. 2 made top 8, I believe. With, of course, 1 winning the entire event. Glad to see them back. Are they the best deck of the format? I'm not 100% convinced. There's still also Shiranui. If you haven't heard, Shiranui is glitched right now. There is a glaring bug with Shiranui stopping them from being top tier. So we probably will not see Shiranui at GG Tour, and we probably will not see the true strength of Shiranui until that bug is fixed. It's just too big of a bug not to fix. 6 Samurai completely shat the bed. I think that deck could be at full power and still do absolutely nothing. There's just nothing to that deck that's really powerful. Dark Lord, let's talk about Dark Lord. Dark Lord was 4 people entered with Dark Lord, and they also got shat on, interestingly enough. On top of that, we also did an unlimited tournament back on Tuesday where people played Salamangreats in that tournament as well, with Favorite Hero ended up winning that tournament. And Dark Lords just didn't do well at all. I think we're finally at a point where we have decks that can compete with the old meta, especially in this Link era meta. A lot of these Link decks can face those old decks, and a lot of the back row DD Crow hand traps are really, really good against those decks as well. I think Dark Lord is just, funny enough to say, too slow for Duel Links now. let that settle in your mind. They also did not do very well today, even though they can play one Ixchel, one Contact, one Sanctified. With Cosmic Cyclone being unlimited, we saw a lot more Cosmic Cyclones being played, and you really don't want to play Dark Lord in a meta that has triple Cosmic Cyclone available to everybody. It just didn't work out for them. What else? Invoked also entered today, and I think Invoked, there might be a chance that they become good, but right now there's no home deck for Invoked, and until they can figure out what deck to kind of sit at and become their home, I don't think they're going to be relevant in the metagame. Or we get Casitas or some Mechaba or Raijin or something. I just don't think they're good enough to be meta viable right now. Overall, super fun tournament. Salamangreat is not a dead deck, so if you invested in Salamangreat and you are fuming that it got nerfed, it is not a dead deck. It did not make Grand Finals, so I think it's a more fair deck now. Other decks are able to beat it, but it's not Tier 0 anymore. We are no longer in a Tier 0 meta. I believe there are other decks that are good enough to compete with the deck, and it's not overwhelmingly the best deck anymore, but it is still good. So if you bought it, you're fine. Do not complain. You're good. It's balanced. Boys, GG Tour Saturday. I want you all to watch. Make sure you're there. Boom.